about the other boy from OBU that came fresh out of Scots, the humpback?
This guy, that's how he didn't even know what was going on, but he got hit from back in stick.
Pull up the car, man. Couldn't get a room.
And then feel for the chest. Actually, like this one, they didn't mention nothing whatsoever. I says, you make sure you mention that they were planted everything after. And he didn't play, he did not intentionally, doing whatever. He was basically, the wife was arguing with the other person. And then he was like, and Phil says nothing was going to mention like that. And I says, who's there? So yeah, he was going through that.
Because they already went to visit him a couple of times, so he couldn't do more than him.
Yeah, he said he remembered later that it was rain.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Looney is
Slightly gummy, it's going to take a long time and he needs help. Yeah.
Tēnā koutou katoa and welcome to Fraser Park Artificial for this round 3 match of the Swindale Shield for 2022 between Old Boys University and the home side, the Avalon Wolves. Old Boys University, founded in 1922. 1992, I mean, sorry, the Fighting Billy Goats they are called. They are currently 7th on the table. The Avalon Wolves, 1980 they were founded, the merger of the Taita and Nainai rugby clubs. But they are currently 14th on the table. As we await the arrival of the players, we'll be back very soon.
We can ask Jordan. Like, yeah, it's already in there.
Yeah, but ask for something.
Or ask, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll find out. We'll find out.
Nothing more than
And I said to I respectfully here. I said, getting down to getting down is a different thing. So hit behind the motor when you have that's when the association and he looked at me and said, why don't you want to come to one of our meetings? He said, hell no. That would be the end of my job. Yeah, so we had a really nice long talk. But I forgot to give him my number because I'd already taken out his trips.
No.
Oh, yeah.
What's up? I think it's really what?
Is this your inbox?
You could ask any question. Is it strangled? Yes. There's nothing look like it.
No.
Hey? Came over and
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Make it fun. Make it fun. Yeah.
Testing 1, 2. Testing. Testing 1, 2. Test. Testing 1, 2. Turn that up a bit. Testing 1, 2. Loud and clear, loud and clear. Welcome back to the Fraser Park Artificial at the Rico Sports Centre here in Lower Hutt. It's Avalon Wolves kicking to the eastern hills of the Hutt Valley, and it is over you to receive the ball, and that will be Tiaki Fabish that will take the ball up into the Avalon defence. And here's our first penalty of the afternoon, and of the evening I should say, and Old Boys University picked early on for going off their feet. Joining me in co-commentary this evening is a local club legend here, drives buses throughout the Wellington region, and his name is John Cross. John, it's great to have you back on board again.
It's good to have me here, Brad. Obviously, good rugby played in beautiful conditions here in the valley. No wind, and so kicking going to be astronomical, and foot underfoot is brilliant. So Avalon, as you said, has got a shot at goal here. Mr. Fraser come up to have a shot at goal after about a minute and a half. But no, it's good to be here under lights on a Thursday night before Easter and have a long weekend.
Few Easter eggs too. It's Jordan Aquila take this penalty kick. Jersey 15, Wellington College Old Boy. It is 106 game for the Wolves this evening. He brought up his 100th last year. 244 points for the club. Aquila strikes off his right boot. And it sailed straight through the posts, and the Avalon Wolves are ahead early in this match, 3 points to 0. So, John, Avalon, of course, they've had two losses so far. A tough one against Parramatta away over at Ngāti Toa Domain, 43 points to 18. And then they put on a better performance last week against Hutt Old Boys Marist, only going down 38-10, but that was quite a close contest there, John.
Yeah, I believe that half the problem with hopefully tonight positions a bit
Exactly, and it's Jack Ida with the high box kick, and it's been well taken by Tom Henderson, product of Kavanagh College in Dunedin, who played for the Dunedin Sharks. This year he's moved up to the capital city to play for the Old Boys University Fighting Billy Goats. Cole Preston passed the ball out to Callum Harkin, but his passes sailed into the southern end of the Fraser Park Artificial. And here's the first penalty of the evening for Old Boys University. decisions here. What will Old Boys University do? I believe they will kick for the corner, the western end of the ground, and they will have a line out roughly 15 metres away from Avalon's try line. Scott McLean on the far side, the Vern Troyer of the Referees Association, in the far corner there. We're all in desperate need for referees this season. There's roughly about 60 registered so far, John. We're going to need about 120 to referee once school rugby starts. So give 0800 referee a call. Speaking of which, our referee today is Luke Pearce in his second Premier game in the capital city.
You actually refereeing in this year?
I can tell you that the Club Rugby article on April Fool's Day was incorrect. My Achilles don't like each other. John Cross's birthday is his advantage being played. Avalon pulling down the driving ball. Petty can't control the ball. It's being knocked back. Fotu tried to get the ball, but the advantage is over. Side entry, pulling down the maul. And so, envisage the Billy Goats going for another line out and setting up a drive here, John.
Have you noticed the lights here over the park corner? It's the rest of the ground is, and there's a problem with the lights upstairs.
Oh, well, presumably, John, I think there's a few bulbs out, I think, in that far corner there. It's very dark, and you see about 2 of the 4 bulbs that are gone out. Here's Luke Gilbert, a product of Rossmini College, overthrows the line out. It's been well taken by Avalon as they look to drive it out, but they've been bundled back over their 5-metre mark, virtually centre field. Western end of Fraser Park, artificial. Enoch with the high box kick, well taken by Callum Harkin. Was in the Wellington Lions squad in 2018 and 19. And this is a good run, it's a good shot by the Billy Goats. And they're 4-way, and there's a player down for Avalon, not looking too well. The forwards get going for Old Boys University. Laurel Lim. And we have time off as that hit was quite huge, John. And hopefully the well-being of the player is taken into account here as time has come to a stop. Just before the broadcast, we didn't get time to read out the teams for today. John, would you like to read out the Avalon roster? Well, let's have a look here.
Some of these names I've never heard before.
Fullback is Jordan Acquia. The wings are Jerry Natini and Seti Timu. The midfield is Penia Leota and Jovi Andrews. First 5, but wearing jersey 22 is Farfotu. 9 is Jack Ena. The number 8 for today is Chris Lafale. 7 is Laman Awong. 6 is Michael Ba'a. The locks are Tiafolo Polo and Neru Lafale. And the front row is Anthony Lama, Tufi the hooker, and Daly Enia, who is the captain for today. For the Billy Goats, fullback Callum Harkin, the wings Josh Morgan Ranui and Isaac Wilson. Midfield is Alex Ropetti and Jan Lammers. First 5 is Tom Henderson, 9 is Kyle Preston, co-captain alongside number 8 Tiaki Favish. The flanks are Jack Riley and also Tame Plumtree, being released from the Blues this weekend to play for the Billy Goats. The locks are Cam Jackson and Sam O'Brien. The front row is Samson Connie Finessi, Luke Gilbert at hooker, and Lawrence Jarrell Lim are the front row for the Billy Goats today. The officials, Luke Pearce, as mentioned earlier, in his second game, and Scott McLean and Alex Wood are his assistants.
Number 18's come on to replace the guy that's injured. So it must be a front row that's been injured. Very good substitution by Avalon. It doesn't look very well this guy. I'm not sure what number it is, but number 18's come on to replace him.
Jersey 18 has come onto the field, and that is Phil Green, who has come onto the field. So we'll find out who the injured Avalon Bulls player is shortly. John's just surveying the field. It's quite hard in that far corner, the southern end. There's those 2 bulbs that are out. First scrum, Preston feeds. Avalon putting on a great shot. And it's going to be a reset. Fortunately now we have those law variations at domestic rugby. That push. This is Hardy Sports broadcast. Many thanks to our sponsor, White Pinfold, coming in Drain Lane.
Used to be a very good referee too. I think he stood.
It's the second year of him sponsoring Huddy Sports, and we're grateful for his support. It's a big weekend of footy here, the capital city, and also for Huddy Sports. Old Boys University, Road Petty, a metre from the line. They're close. The post wobble as the players get eager to defend on the line. The Avalon Wolves looking. Preston digs in. Reaches in. He goes out. He looks to take it on his own, but no to avail. And here's a try. Old Boys University on the board. And they are ahead 5 points to 3 with the conversion to come. We're just going to try and focus on the forwards there for Old Boys University, just so we can try and identify the number. We'll get that to you very soon. But that was a good patient build-up by Old Boys University, coming off the back of that scrum. Yeah, fantastic effort indeed. Try scorer for Old Boys University is Sam O'Brien. Debuted for the Billy Goats in 2021. It's his 7th game this evening for Old Boys University. Conversion successful. And so the score now is 7 points to 3. Old Boys University ahead of the Avalon Wolves. Mind if you are watching this and you're an Avalon Wolves supporter, subs and membership supporters, Avalon 79ers, $120. You get a polo shirt, an invitation to the pre-match luncheon and monthly newsletter. So there's for the Avalon Wolves. Proceedings back underway. The Avalon kick, and it's taken again by Tiaki Fabish. 5 away from the 10-metre mark. House comes back. It's kicked downfield that time there by Henderson. Picked up by Avalon, and they've been brought down 5 metres short of halfway. Reaching in is Ina. There's met very quickly. There has Lafali. And it's been held up into a ball, and it is beware of it being static. Ball has come unplayable, so great work there by Old Boys University on defence. John, the Wolves, if they're going to take the ball into contact against these Old Boys University forwards, including the likes of Tame Plumtree, they're going to really have to make sure that their body position is correct.
I believe this is right, Brad. Avalon, they seem to be going in too high. They're not going down on the ground, putting the ball, the tackle law, put the ball on the ground, then ruck it back or get the ball back to the half-back. But they were really held up there by the Billy Goats, and Billy Goats are so clinical, if you know what I mean. They were, they won so many games, and Avalon, they have a problem of not winning games, but they've got to think above themselves and try and do it, and hopefully tonight's the night.
Preston feeds the scrum. 5 away for half on, and here's a penalty. As the Bulls have lost their binding and going down with the shoulder. Here's it is against Daly Ina in the front row, losing his bind. So Callum Harkin comes up to take the penalty kick to touch. And the ball is 5 metres inside Avalon's 22, northern end of Fraser Park. Round 3 action, big weekend on Huddy Sports. As well as this game, tomorrow we'll bring you a pre-season match, St. Pat's Silverstream, taking on Fielding High School at Silverstream from 1 o'clock. Huddy Hui tomorrow night. At 8 p.m. it is say 7 p.m. on our ad, but it is 8 p.m. Isaac Bracewell is our guest of Orange and Rongotai Wellington Axeman, now in the Hawke's Bay playing his rugby up there as our guest on the Huddy Hui tonight. There's another penalty. It's tomorrow night, another penalty, not rolling away by the looks of it. And then Saturday, another Swindale Shield match. The unbeaten Petone against Orange and Rongotai from Petone Rec. And that will be a blockbuster of a game. Particularly Orange and Rongotai, when they get those forwards going, they are hard to stop. On Saturday, I had the privilege of calling their game against Mara St. Pat's. 20 minutes to go, they were all over the Catholics, 15 points to 6. And then a try, a yellow card, and an intercept by Tuga Mativa, who had played over 100 games for Orange and Rongotai on the wing for Mara St. Pat's, and went over and scored. And that changed the momentum of Mara St. Pat's, winning the game. Old Boys University elect to go for the shot at goal, and it will be Callum Harkin. 146 career points. Played 2 seasons for the Wellington Axemen in 2017 and 2018. Before moving to the Billy Goats. Harkin strikes and that's straight down the middle. And the score now is 10 points to 3. OBU over Avalon.
Well, it's very clinical by OBU. They know what they're doing. They know what they could do to win. And they're actually playing very clinical rugby, playing in the Avalon red zone. And once you get in the red zone, they're very hard to stop. Penalty here, penalty here. Avalon have got to lift their game and play to their potential, which is their forwards. I haven't seen it spun out in the back yet by Avalon. So let's hopefully they can do it.
Play back underway. Avalon decide to kick into the Old Boys University's 22, and Preston sends them packing back into their own half, and that's going to be a line out at the northern end, right on the 10-metre mark here at Fraser Park, artificial. There's an interesting statistic here for you, John. The last time the Avalon Wolves bet Old Boys University was the 30th of May 2009, 27-26 here at Fraser Park. That was the last time they bet the Billy Goats.
I'm sure one of my sons would have been playing that game, like Cameron and Stephen at that age. No, hey, Avalon, they've got so much potential, but their problem, and I'll be honest with you, they're not fit, and that is honest.
And at that, John, Stephen was at first 5 and Cameron was at halfback that day. And no advantage, pass was forward, and we're coming back for the penalty advantage. Referee Pearce that time there, seeing player off their feet, hands on the ground over the top. So really important, keep making sure you're keeping on your feet. Referees are very tough on that at the moment in club rugby. Last year these two teams met, and it was a 78 points to 12 win for Old Boys University at Glenville Park. But then say again, Old Boys University, it's certainly a big change of personnel in their club this year. Jonathan Fuimuanu, who's now playing his rugby up in the Horowhenua Kapiti. And a few other players as well have moved on. Sam Reid, the electric fullback, he has moved up to the North Harbour this year.
Takes a lot to come off. Very good family, and Layman Awong, he's
All the best to Layman Awong on your recovery. It's often one of the dangers of playing on these artificial turfs. They are hard surfaces. It's a big long blow on the whistle here by referee Pearce, and it looks like we're going to have our first card of the evening. There's an earnest discussion going on. We have time and space being called here by referee Pearce. Yep. Earnest discussion going on. And yellow card has been given. And that is Phil Green, the replacement, who's only been on for less than 10 minutes. And Avalon are down to 14. The actions of referee Pearce there showing he was pulling the ball down in legal position. So Old Boys University with the man-up advantage for the next 10 minutes. And they have gone for the scrum. 5 metres out from the line, 15 in from touch on the southern end. Some other big games on this weekend as well. Te Puka o Te Ika bringing you live coverage of Northern United taking on Pōneke. That game as well. North's losing to Hutt Old Boys Marist in the first round. Pōneke 2 from 2 so far. Other games on this Saturday. Tony Orange-Rongotai will be broadcasting that on here. Here goes Preston. Out to the wing. And they sail over and score their second try to the Billy Goats. And the man that has scored appears to be one of their wingers. And so Old Boys University out to a 15 points to 3 lead. Parramatta Plymouth taking on Hutt Old Boys Marist this Saturday out at Ngāti Taua Domain. Parramatta Plymouth pulled out the COVID card last weekend. Too many players isolating. Taua versus Johnsonville. Johnsonville narrowly lost to Norths last weekend. They're not a bad side. I saw them in round 1. Upper Hutt Rams versus Marist St. Pat's. And Wainuiomata versus Wellington.
I tell you what, as you said, the blockbuster game this week going to be Norths against Pōneke. Played at Norths out at Jerry Collins Stadium. Norths, they lost last, I think the first round against last week they've been changed. This week against Pōneke, I think it'll be a good game. I actually think Norths will come out on top.
Norths rattled in round 1 by Hutt Old Boys Marist, but you never write off Northern United. They're a powerhouse rugby club. Harkin strikes 5 in from the southern end, and the kick is successful. And we're finally seeing some good kicking in decent conditions for a change. 17 points to 3, almost midway through the first half. Try scorer for Old Boys University appeared to be Isaac Wilson. We will confirm that soon. It's just hard to see the jersey numbers in that far corner. And Harkin gets the ball in. Wolves slammed on the ground in a thumping tackle. And off the back goes Jack Riley. Riley 5 short, but there's a knock on. Can confirm the try scorer was Isaac Wilson. Played for the Old Boys University Colts last year. Product of Wellington College. Debuted last year against Avalon.
If Avalon can produce more tackles like Caleb August just did, they can be in this game. They're hanging in, but they've got to get some ball. I have not seen them move the ball out in the back line once yet. It's just been in the forwards or kicked for touch. But let's see what the back line's got. Pass it out. Let's see what happens. We've got the ball. Avalon's got the ball just inside the halfway in the OBU half. So let's see what happens from here. See if we can get a bit of movement in it.
Avalon with the scrum, 5 in inside Old Boys University territory. Jack Ena. His third game today for the Avalon Bulls. Gets it off the back and passes it out to Fotu. And Fotu gets around the first tackler. He's dragged down 8 short of the 10-metre mark. Advantage being played here for the Wolves. Ball comes out to Polo. And Polo met in a good tackle. Avalon still keeping the ball in hand. This is good pick and goes here by the Wolves. Ball comes back, but it's an errant pass. But it's been tidied up by Aquila. But the advantage is over. As referee Pearce comes back for the penalty. Referee Pearce, he came to Wellington last year and then halfway through the season went overseas to Madrid. He often goes over to Spain, John, so he often goes and referees a lot of rugby over there.
Is this part of his job? Is he, how's his employment? What's he actually do?
It's a very good question, John. I believe this might be his holiday. So he often might go back and work in Spain. The joys of travelling overseas, we can finally go back overseas and enjoy that. At the moment, I'll just stay put. I've got a few bills to pay. Avalon have the line out. 5 inside Old Boys University. Old Boys University's 22. The southern end of Fraser Park, artificial. But the pass has been picked up by the Billy Goats. And they set up the ball. Preston fires the ball back to Henderson. Henderson under the challenge of Paulo. But the ball has managed to find touch just short of halfway. Old Boys University to defend this line out. No comment. It's always housework. Avalon with the ball in hand, centre field. And Polo supported by Nulafalo. Old Boys University driving through on their feet. That's a good counter ruck. And then look at that man there, number 6, Tame Plumtree. In the second season with the Blues, but that time there, giving away the penalty. Tame Plumtree, son of John Plumtree, the All Black assistant coach, who's here this evening, watching his son play.
Gee, it's good to see John Plumtree here watching his son. But Avalon getting these penalties, I think what they should do, because they have problems in the line out, take a quick tap and go, see what happens. But they're not doing it, you know, so they're not reading the game very well. Here's a good kick downfield. I think it's out on the floor, but good to see Scott playing. Looks like he's lost a bit of weight from the last season, but it's good to see.
Scott McLean, he's had a restful February. He's spending most of the time down in the South Island, enjoying the sights and sounds of Queenstown. Previously worked for the IRD, did Scott McLean. Hugh Pretorius is here with his camera, one of the many great photographers we have in Wellington Club Rugby. Always around, he always follows Avalon, does Hugh Pretorius. Line out throw, well done by Avalon at the line out that time, and they get it through their back line. Ina, high pass, and it's been well taken by the Wolves, and it comes out Skripsakwela, and it comes out to Timu. Timu wrestles with the throw, he goes for the offload. At that time there, could it be taken by Sam O'Brien? Ina gives the ball back to Fotu. And here's a break by the Wolves! Their centre field, Lafale brought down 4 away from the line. The Billy Goats for the first time this evening having to defend. Advantage being played. Avalon, can they score from man in the bin? That time has been intercepted there by Wilson. But we come back for the offside penalty. Southern end post. Decision time here for the Wolves, John. Do they take the shot at goal or will they put down the scrum?
I think they'll put down the scrum because at the moment that'll be the best passive play that Avalon had in the last 30-odd minutes they've been playing. They're actually taking the scrum. It's good to see, and it's good to see Avalon going forward, looking to go move the ball. The back's got the ball. As I said, get the ball out of the backs. Let's see what happens.
Promising play there by the Wolves. I'd like to thank Troy O'Kane, the staff here at Fraser Park, Fraser Park Rico Sports Centre. Troy can't be here this evening, but many thanks to Troy. And the manager as well, all doing a great work. Club manager too. Also, the president of Wellington Rugby is here, Kerry Walsh. Always great to talk to Kerry Walsh. Ball comes out for Avalon, and they've been met in a high tackle, bundled down, but they still have a penalty advantage to play with. Slow going, Ball's been knocked on, but we're coming back for the penalty directly in front of the post. Look for the quick tap here, and they go. He now slides under, and the Wolves are on the board with their first try. And it's Jack Ena over for his first points for the Avalon Wolves.
Exactly what I said, Brad. Take the quick tap, put them on the back feet, and see what happens. And what do? Jack Ena, younger brother of Daly Ena, the captain. Good to see, and here's Jordan Quilla. Should be 7 point for Avalon. Brings the score back to 17-10 after about 32 minutes of the first half.
Excellent work there by the Wolves. Penalty directly in front of the post. And it'd be Aquila with the shot at goal. Perfect with the boot tonight, and so 17 points to 10. Old Boys University ahead by 7. Great work by the Wolves under pressure for pretty much most of this first half. And we have time off here as Phil Green returns from the sin bin. As we have the recycling happening in the background. Those are ginger beer bottles, ladies and gentlemen. Taita Cricket Club have their prize giving on this evening as well in the room on the opposite side of this sports centre. Time's back on. Harkin to get proceedings back underway. He goes for the high Gary Owen from the start. And Avalon under the ball. It comes off the Old Boys University shoulder, went backwards. All being picked up by Connor Finessi. Centre fielders, Plumtree. He goes for the offload. And it rumbles, but it has travelled forward. So a knock on there by the Billy Goats. And so Avalon will have a scrum. Metre out from their 22 centre field.
Tame Plumtree, mate. He is awesome. You know. Why did the Hurricanes not pick him up? You know, he's so good. Look how big he is, and he should be playing for the Hurricanes. He lives in Wellington. His father's here. What else can I say?
Well, at least he's still playing for the Wellington Lions, John. Tame Plumtree. Wellington College, born in Wales. Also the New Zealand Under-20s program in 2019. Try to score it, Ena feeds the scrum. Ball comes back into the 22. Avalon decide to run it out. Good work, support players needed. And they get there just in time. Ball comes back to Potu and he kicks it. It's a touch. And that's the thunderous clap of the bottles as that ball goes into touch. And it's going to be an Old Boys University line out. 2 metres inside Avalon's 22, the 7 end. Luke Gilbert to throw the ball in his 5th game for the Billy Goats.
Must be very good to do it. The Taita Cricket Club, they seem to be drinking a few bits of alcohol, or is that ginger beer?
That could rival the Hutt City Sports Awards. And here's a penalty, obstruction at the line out is the call. So the Wolves again have a reliever inside their 22. Now, John, of course, only really a few years ago, 2 years ago, there actually was a grandstand at the southern end here of Fraser Park. The number 1 ground used to be there on the old grass turf until the centre opened and the turf opened, but the stand not fit for use anymore. But it was one of the great views in club rugby in particular. It rivaled the likes of the Petone grandstand.
I tell you what, it's got a lot of memories for me playing out on number 1 field and grandstand that. The best guy, I tell you what, Damien Patrick Collins, he loves everything about the number 1 grandstand. But hey, I think at the moment, Avalon are starting to come back into this game. I'm not going to say we're going to win it, but we are showing a lot of positive signs.
Plumtree takes it in. into the tackle. Preston feeds, comes out to Henderson. Alex Ropetti. Ropetti picks a gap, picks it through, but Naquila is there and he sends the ball back over the top of Henderson into his 22. Henderson surveys his options. Time and space. Kicks off his right and it is rolled into touch. And 6 away from halfway. Directly in front of our commentary position. Avalon throw. So, won the game of force back there, did the Wolves. Graham Purvis involved with the Wolves this year, John. And with plenty of knowledge when it comes to rugby.
It's all black. Hopefully the guys have taken it on foot, but see what happens. Like, here's a line out, overthrown, take the halfback. They are so clinical when it comes to pick up play, and here's an Avalon guy. Back ball, the ball is free, and it's actually the Avalon like up.
Offside is the call. We'll be able to hopefully see. No, we've just missed it on the delayed feed. But that time the Wolves being caught in offside position. So Old Boys University have the line out. Meter outside the 22 northern end of Fraser Park artificial. This number 1 here, number 1 artificial turf, is also home to the Phoenix Academy. They also play their National League games here as well. You can see some of the signs around the ground as well. And at that time, Old Boys University lose their own line out and Avalon pick up the ball. Old Boys University looking for the turnover, but not too much avail. Ball comes through to the Wolves. Centre field, this is a good drive, right up to the 10-metre mark. Good charging run there by Chris Lafalek. Great experience there in that Avalon Wolves number 8. Here's Henderson. Gliding feet, offloads it to Ranui. They're dragged down, metre short of the 10-metre mark inside Avalon Wolves territory. O'Brien, it's linked up with Ropetti. He tries to circle around the Avalon Wolves defender like he's going around the dark side of the moon, but that time he's bundled it to touch. And it's going to be a Wolves liner. This is since that try, John, the Avalon Wolves, particularly on their defence, have lifted their game and they're going extremely well.
Brad, I believe what you've just said because, as you said, Avalon, they're all tackling, they're getting up on the play, they're actually winning the goats line, which is good to see. Avalon got it now, out to one of the props, he's a big boy. The 2 props are actually big boys. It's young boy Ina. As I said, Daly's young brother. And I think it's starting to come from Pats now, and hopefully it's come from the coaches and, as you said, Graham Purvis, Logan, and hopefully they can do it and we can do it.
Avalon Wolves trying to crack this Old Boys University defence. And they take it forward. They're met in the tackle there by Jarrell Lim. And Avalon Wolves just keeping it tight. Ina passes back into the 22 to Fotu. And here goes for the high kick. Under it is Harkin right on the halfway line. He skips it in front. It's been knocked on there by Isaac Wilson. And the fumble. And they definitely 2-1 to burn there for Old Boys University. Now the Avalon Wolves will have the scrum. 10 in from touch, 5 inside their own half. 17 points to 10. Old Boys University over the Avalon Wolves. Exciting first half. Was 17-3 for the first sort of 20 minutes. Looked a bit ominous for the Wolves, but they've really lifted their game. Many thanks to our sponsor, Mike Pinfold. There's roughly about 3 minutes to go in this first half. That's it. Solid scrum by the Wolves. Ball comes back to Valfotu, jersey 22. He brushes off the tackle of Henderson and he rumbles over 5 metres inside to the Goats territory. Box kick from Ina. And there's a Big run there on the sideline there by Tuffy on the wing. Just didn't have enough gas to get the ball. But that was a good promising play by Avalon, catching the back line for the Billy Goats. Just rushed up too much, playing us open passes at home. And they will have the line out. The meter outside the 22.
Actually, the last, say, 10 to 15 minutes have been all Avalon. The Billy Goats haven't really been in the Avalon half. And if they can keep on playing like this, you never know what's going to maybe an upset's on the game.
Line out feed for and here we go, and it's been knocked on by Avalon. The Billy Goats defence holds up. Old Boys University this season, 2-1, losing the Batoni first up, 19 points to 10. Then trailed 10-0 against Wainui for a bit of the first half. Ended up winning 31 points to 15. Bit of concern here for Henderson, is the physio. And unfortunately for Henderson, he's got his arm wrapped up in his lower end of his jersey. It's a concern there for the young young first five. It's another injury in this game, one to both sides. Jersey 22, Sam Champion comes on the field in his debut. Champion, former Old Boys University Colts. Father Glenn Champion is the assistant coach. Was supposed to be the starting 10 for the Old Boys University Premier Reserves last year, but had a season-ending injury. But he's back out there this season in his debut for the Premiers. Harkin kicks directly downfield from mighty missile. But Jordan Aquila is there to tidy up. Aquila, he has Wilson putting him under pressure. But a calm as you like kick. And it finds touch. 12 away from halfway, 7 end of Fraser Park. Beautiful evening. Not a breath of wind to speak of. Nice and cool temperature, not too cold. Line out from Gilbert has overthrown and the Wolves pick it up. First 20 minutes to Old Boys University, but the last 20 has definitely gone the Avalon Wolves' way. 17 points to 10. Moments remaining in the first half. Ball's been lost by the Wolves. It's been kicked through, but no advantage, so it's been kicked through. And here's Champion under real pressure, clipped around the ankles. But we're coming back. As assistant referee Scott McLean comes onto the field. As we wait to see what the decision was. I believe it might be for that knock on. We might have just seen on the coverage. No, it's a penalty. Player being pulled back. Avalon way player. So, Old Boys University with the penalty. Soon this will probably be the last play of the first half. Line out a metre inside Avalon's 22, the 7 end. 17 points to 10. The Billy Goats over the Wolves. Also at the 7 end is the tower of the Avalon Studios. Originally home to TVNZ before they moved production up to Auckland. Parliament TV is filmed there for all of you that like to watch politicians debating. Good take on the line out there by Cam Jackson. And Old Boys University set up a driving maul. As the Ginger Bears arrive for half time and Preston feeds it out to Harkin. Harkin at first receiver takes it to the line and he's back well on a tackle by Chris Lafale. Preston reaching up, but Avalon with a good counter ruck. And they've got the turnover. Excellent work by the Wolves. really mounting up the pressure to the Billy Goats. Ball comes back and the ball has been kicked into touch. Referee Pearce looks at his watch. Still time to play. Old Boys University back in exactly the same position as 30 seconds ago they were with their line out. Gilbert with the ball in hand. Falls target. Let's see if he goes back to Jackson at the front. No, this time he goes to the back to Plumtree. Ball comes to Ropetti, centre field. Skips it to Harkin. Goes in front of Champion. Out to Morgan Ranui. Morgan Ranui skips around 2 tacklers. 8 away from the line. Old Boys University get to their work. Tiaki Fabish, the co-captain. Brought down. Harkin at first receiver. Goes for the crossfield kick. And it's been sent back in by Plumtree with a good offload. And it will be Isaac Wilson. No, it's a forward pass. He just missed out on some incredible magic. And so that's a forward pass. And that is half time here at Fraser Park. The Avalon Wolves trail Old Boys University 17 points to 10. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Jamie. Jamie. How are you?
I was a big kid yesterday.
Yeah? Oh, no. Oh, first time since I'm a baby. Oh, hey. Ooh, dirty. Okay, you look after yourself, huh? Okay, lunch around the kids.
Welcome back to Fraser Park. Start of the second half. Old Boys University ahead 17 points to 10. Denied a third try on the stroke of half time. Pass was forward from Tame Plumtree and Old Boys University kicking to Eastern Hills of the Hutt Valley. An advantage being played here by the Wolves, as a knock-on has been occurred by the Billy Goats. 17 points to 10. Second half. And John Cross is my co-commentator. This is a pretty impressive performance by the Wolves so far. Second half now. They've got a scrum just inside their 22. What do you expect them to do in the second half?
If they can carry on how they've been playing the last 15, 20 minutes of the first half, this could be an upset on here. But the problem, as I said before, Avalon, their fitness is going to show because the Billy Goats are very fit. So this could be the start of something. This hopefully Avalon will kick ahead and come away forward.
Good scrum by the Billy Goats, but Avalon get the ball out just in time. Leota takes it to the line and he just gets outside the 22. Penalty advantage being played by the Wolves. Ball comes back to Hotu. He looks for the crossfield kick, but not much successful as it's been picked up by Wilson, and it's a penalty against the Billy Goats, first for the second half. It'll be Aquila to pick the ball into touch, but it hasn't found touch. It's been picked up by Old Boys University. Ball comes into centre field for Harkin. Harkin decides to run around Aquila, offloads it to Champion. Champion out to Tiaki Fabish. Wilson with the ball. He's 4 away from halfway. 5 in from the northern end of Fraser Park Artificial at the northern end. Offloads Glenty for the Billy Goats. And they're looking to speed up this game. Champion, flat pass out to James Holbrook. Jersey 16 on the field. It's his third game for the Billy Goats. Last year played for Napier Old Boys Marist in the Hawke's Bay competition. Product of St. Pat's Town. Played for Marist St. Pat's between 2017 and 2019. So we have an errant spectator on the field that has been retrieved by a local police officer. Oh, Avalon with the turnover. They're right on halfway. They're reaching in. Ball comes out to Paulo at first receiver. And offloads to Aquila. And Aquila tries to get round the tackle of Tiaki Fabish. And they're coming back. There's a penalty advantage. Penalty for the Wolves. And referee Pearce coming back from a long advantage. All the way back to the 17.5 metre mark on halfway. 17-10 is the score. Old Boys University ahead. The Wolves putting up a fighting performance. Aquila. Avalon, early stages of the second half. Hopefully would have had their half-time oranges to boost their energy levels.
Actually, I think they maybe need more than oranges because, as I said, the second half they seem to run it. Oh, so bug up by Chris Lavalley. But hey, you never know what happens in rugby. A break, hopefully we can get it.
Stake there by the Wolves, so it'll be scrum for the Billy Goats. Just observe to see if there's been any other substitutions by besides Holbrook at halftime. Bill Green came on very early for the Wolves in the first half, an injury to Laman Wong. And roughly about 5 minutes after he got on, he was yellow carded. But he's back out there now. Preston feeds. Harkin at first receiver. Chips it over the top. Tries to gather it. And he's knocked it back, but Avalon have got the ball in hand as they rumble it forward over halfway. Ina reaching in. Surveying his options. Going to dig in there like a forensic scientist to get their ball out. And it's been a good break here by his brother Daly Ina, the captain. And he travels 10 metres. Please for a penalty. It's quickly taken by Aquila behind the referee's back. But not to be. This referee Pierce is wanting to have the ball played on the mark. Jersey 17 for the Billy Goats is preparing to come on. That's Nico Ardenvale, former Thames Valley rep. Played for the Hautapu club in the Waikato last year. It's his third game for the Billy Goats this afternoon. Aquila election to go for the shot at goal. Just past the 10-metre mark. Directly in front of the post, not a breath of wind to speak of. Calm hush around the ground. Not as quiet as Lansdowne Road. And the kick is straight down the middle. And the Avalon Wolves have narrowed the gap. 17 points to 13.
Actually, good to see his mother and father. Actually, the father, he actually videos all the Avalon games. His mother's there, and she comes up. She goes, tell us who's been replaced. It's good to see the Aquila family very enjoyed with the Avalon team. Their son Wayne is actually involved with the Avalon club as well. So it's good to see. You got Jordan and Jason, the twin. Actually, you can't tell them apart, but no, it's good to see. At the moment, Avalon, I think they're shocking the pundits, which is good to see.
And speaking about the Aquilas, Jason Aquila has just come onto the field of jersey 20. They're replacing Potu in jersey 22. And that's a penalty. Not clearing out as the call from referee Pierce. Paulo trying to plead his case, but to no avail. And Harkin will kick this ball into touch. And this is James Holbrook to feed the line out. 10 away from Avalon's try line. Midway through the first quarter of the second half. Old Boys University on attack. And it's been intercepted by the Wolves. They've really been playing a good game, but the Billy Goats have got it back. The ball comes out to O'Brien. And Old Boys University look to get going. Here's the pass out to the wingers. But Morgan Ranui's pass out to Preston was errant and wild. He's got it to touch, so the Wolves line out. 6 away from their line. Many thanks to our sponsor, Mike Pinfold, Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. He's sponsoring us again for a second year. So if you need any drain laying or plumbing work, Mike's the man to call. Tuffy to throw. And it's been picked up by the Wolves and they charge it forward. Playing a good patient game here, the Wolves, 17-13, still trailing. And Aquila kicks the ball, it's been quickly taken by the Billy Goats. Here's Plumtree in the bright orange boots, sailing through, a good 15-metre run. Old Boys University looking to speed up the play. Holbrook darts it down, 5 away from the 22. Harkin finds Champion, and here goes Ropetti stepping around, gliding through, bounces off 1, bounces off 2, offloads it to Gerald Lim. And the Billy Goats are inside the 22. Holbrook offloads it, massive hit. The Wolves putting in the punishing tackles, and they earn themselves a turnover. Holding on is the call. The Avalon Wolves stepping up on defence, John.
Very good to see. Just talked to the coach. He reckons the same problem, what I said before, the fitness, but they are working on it, and actually, it is actually showing the backs. The tackle, man, was that a good hit or not, mate? It was excellent, you know. And don't forget, this is sponsored by Mike Pinfold, the best plumber in Upper Hutt. And don't forget, Mike, we've got the police quiz coming up soon. I hope you're going to donate again.
That won't go on his record. As we have time off here, as there's an Avalon player receiving attention. There's the dog display, there's his displeasure that the Billy Goats are not further ahead. And the player's back on his feet, but he looks like he's retreating down to the in goal. So we could have an impending substitution appearing soon for the Wolves. Jersey 21 has come onto the field. That is Mark Savilio. His debut today for the Avalon Wolves. So congratulations to him. He's mentioning early on in the broadcast, a lot of new faces in both sides. But still a lot of experience in both as well. Wolves line out. 11 away from halfway. It's been intercepted by Old Boys University, and they take it through their back line. They're looking to spark things up. Here goes Roy Petty. He's brought down on the 10-metre mark. Good ankle tap tackle there by the Wolves. Preston out to his right, finds Harkin. Harkin brushes off 2 tacklers and is brought down 5 short of the 22. You get a sense of urgency here from the Billy Goats. They want to speed this up and catch the tiring Wolves. Ball's loose, but it's been knocked back. Ball's gone back again. Can't be picked up that time by Lammers. And here's an opportunity for the Wolves. It bounces into Old Boys 22. Ferris charging back. He'll get back just in time. And look at this, John. This is the first goal line dropout I've seen in club rugby this season.
I didn't know they had it in the club rugby, but it's good to see. And the flank has been replaced by number 21. So who's come off? Number 6 for Avalon, which is Michael Clark, Samoan representative. It's good to see. And actually, I don't know what to say at the moment, because Avalon actually are going above what I thought they'd be doing, the pundits, you know, and the pundits would have beat OU to win this by about 30 or 40 points.
As mentioned earlier, it's been since 2009 Avalon beat the Billy Goats, and they won 27 points to 26 that day. Can they do it again? The goal line dropout from Old Boys University has pushed Avalon back inside their half, but the ball's still there for the Wolves. The Wolves charge it forward. Excellent run there by Mark Sevilio. 2 away from halfway. Ina playing a blinder at halfback, and it's a penalty. As it was jersey 17, Ardenveld, that pulled in Ina at the ruck as he was trying to pull it out. And so another penalty here for the Wolves. How far can Jordan Aquila kick the ball, John?
Actually, I think it's outside his range. I tell you what, this night rugby, mate, why don't I have around this every year? This is brilliant, you know. Conditions, well, Avalon, they got the artificial turf. And it's showing, actually, there's a reasonable crowd here tonight, which surprised me, you know, on the Thursday of Good Friday, you know, or before Easter, but it's good to see.
Easter Thursday rugby under the lights. John proposes a good option. There's only a few grounds in the Wellington region that have lights. Hutt Rec used to. They got rid of them. Bizarre decision, that one. Jerry Collins Stadium has lights. Helston Park. Helston Park has them. What a great venue that is to play at, John. Helston Park, you've got the bank. But as a referee, it's probably one of the most taunting places to go to in Wellington Club Rugby. The grandstand at Avalon was pretty close.
As I said, grandstand here, mate, I'm going to give Damien Patrick Collins, he's going to give me a load of SHIT after this, but hey, good to see you, ball bags. Good to see.
The Billy Goats with the ball, 10 away from halfway. They're really trying to speed it up, but Avalon are putting up a marching fight. Harkin kicks it through. He kicks it through again. Here's Roe Petty. Roe Petty slides into the 22. He's 15 away from the line. Old Boys University speeding up. Here's numbers to burn for the Billy Goats. And they're over. James Holbrook scores for the Billy Goats. They finally caught the Wolves napping. They've been looking to play this speed-up game, John, and they've finally cracked the Wolves' defence.
Yeah, they definitely speed the game up. I think they've realised that Avalon are starting to wilt a bit. Avalon now have to pick who they're going to bring on for the substitutes, because the Wolves, if they keep on going the way they're playing, they're going to run away with this.
And that was set up there by the man that is about to kick the conversion. Callum Harkin kicked it from 10 metres inside his own half, kicked it up to the Wolves' 10 metre mark, and then kicked it up a further 15 metres and passed it off to Roe Petty. Then Roe Petty managed to secure the ball, and Avalon still had players retreating back on defence. And the ball came out to Holbrook, who sailed over to score. 22 points to 13. Harkin with the conversion. Sporting looks like a new version of a mullet, John. Central City style. Harkin strikes, tries to curve it back in, but it is sailed behind. Left hand upright, so the score remains 22 points to 13. Nearly midway through the second half. Billy Goats, well, young players, they've still got a few players out, such as Josh Gimlett, the Hawke's Bay NPC representative, who's not playing today. He's here though watching. It's a player, John, an interesting stat about Josh Gimlett, and they last won the Jubilee Cup at Old Boys University. He made an astonishing 30-odd tackles in the Jubilee Cup final. Josh Gimlett, that's an impressive statistic. Aquila with the ball, bounces off 2 tacklers, and then it is brought down by Holbrook, right on the halfway. Ardenveld trying to be a menace. It's been intercepted by Plumtree! The gliding tall timber in the 6th jersey. Sails over like he's playing for the Blues. And he scores another try. The pass from Ina, John, was just too flat. And Plumtree latched on that like a boy with jet planes.
He read that very well. Well, as he should be. He's a Blues Super 15 player. But I think young Ina here, he should have kept that in close, not spin it out wide. And as I said, now Billy Goats, their fitness is starting to show. And but you never know. But hey, I want to pull a plug in next Saturday, 23rd. It's Avalon's Old Timers Day. We're playing Johnsville out here. All old timers, come up. You know, I know you're watching this, Cameron. Come up in your blazer. Good to see you. Your brother will be here, but you know, come up. It's Old Timers Day here at Fraser Park. I think it's 12 o'clock. Festivities start. You know. So my mate Joe Napier will be here. We came here last year, mate. We didn't leave till it was finished, and we were hammered.
The job was only on the light beers. Harkin again, virtually in the same position here where he was roughly 3 minutes ago. And instead of curving around, he decides to go for the straight and narrow. And the score now is 29 points to 13. Old Boys University well and truly into fifth gear now. And the Avalon Wolves are going to have to pull out something special. They really have toiled away hard. It's just the fitness starting to kick in now. Aquila gets play back underway. High kick, but in front of the kicker were the Avalon line. So in sevens, it's a free kick. And in 15s, it's a scrum. So some argument there, John, to probably a way to speed up the game probably is to adopt the free kick like they do in sevens. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it would be a good game. If you're not going to kick at 10 metres, start it with a free kick, and that speeds the game up. I think the referees will love it, you know. But hey, I'm impressed with Tane Plumtree, mate. I can understand why he's in the Blues, and man, why aren't they playing him? You got Papali'i, you got the other fellas and all this. But he's a very good player, as you saw a couple of weeks ago. We scored a couple of tries.
He certainly did. Good competition there, particularly between him and Tom Robinson. Fiery redhead from Northland. Here goes Old Boys University again. Harkin out to Ranuing on the wing. And they're flirting with the touchline and they're bundled into touch. Good work by the Wolves. And they will have the line out. 5 inside their own half. Jersey 10 coming onto the field, and that appears to be Caleb August. His debut. Another debutant out on the field today, so congratulations to him. Good to see a lot of young players in particular. You know, they live in this area, they're in the tighter 9i area, and they're turning out for Avalon, they're staying loyal. So excellent work. Jerry Nartini, who also debuted today. He's now off the field having a breather. Good line out by the Wolves. Ball comes out to Chris Lafale. Lafale's been held up by the Billy Goats as the ball still moves. And there's a swarm of Billy Goats there trying to bring it down. They're pleading for the turnover, but that's a penalty. Dragging it down is the call. I think that one might have come from Scott McLean on the sideline, John, because he's got his hand close to his comm badge.
Yeah, Scotty's got to get him to play somewhere along the line. I think he's done it now. Actually, he's got more hair than me. No, he hasn't. He's got a bald head.
Scott McLean, long-serving member of Wellington Rugby Referees Association. Regular contributor to Club Rugby. The stream's also been shared by Club Rugby. The excellent work of Stephen White, Adam Julian, Scott McLean. They are pretty much the front and brains of the news media now when it comes to Club Rugby in Wellington. Nothing in the Dominion Post anymore. Might be the occasional write-up in the Hutt News. That's only really for the McBain Shield. But Club Rugby is your source to go to, clubrugby.nz. They do a fantastic job covering our local game in the Wellington region. Old Boys University with the ball in hand. Harkin kicks it through again. The similar pattern to Ropeti, but that time there it's been tidied up well. That time there by Phil Green. Leota charging it forward, manages to gain 5 metres in ground. Balls come back into the 22, carried back. Aquila quickly adjusted, and Champions having to run back past his 10-metre mark. He decides to go for a run. He off passes out the ball. Well taken by the Billy Goats as they rumble past halfway. A charging run, stomping like he's in 10 foot of snow. Bampton charges forward. Data's debut against Wainui last weekend. Second game, product of Timaru boys. And here's a break by Holbrook. Offloads it to Harkin. Harkin with his dancing feet. He's got Wilson in support, but it's been knocked on. But knocked back is the call. But there's a penalty. Off their feet is the call by referee Pearce. So a get out of jail free card there for the Wolves.
Well, actually, OBU should have scored there. All they had to do was pass the ball. The winger, he was in, but as you said, ball went forward. They dived over the top, so it's a penalty to Avalon. Avalon got to regroup, and as I said, you can have a look at the fatties in the front row. You've got Daliena, Tuffy. They're actually walking at the moment. They've got no energy. And this is where the coaches should be replacing these guys.
Avalon will have the line out. 15 away from their line. Northern end of Fraser Park artificial. Last week the Wolves got to finally play on the other side of this building on their new number 1. And I just walked past it this afternoon, John, and what a pristine field it looked. It's all sand base, and it's now probably looking like one of the best fields in the Wellington region.
Actually, I've been told that last week, man, everyone that played on it, they could not believe how good this field is. It's good to see. It's taken a while to come through. Like, as I said, next week's Old Timers Day here. Come down. We can watch the game from the club rooms. I won't say the bar because I'm not allowed to say that. But, hey, no, it's taken a bit of work. Mexies have done a lot of work on this, and it's good to see, and this is what Avalon needs. You know, we can play out there in the sun, and at night we can play over here on the artificial, as long as they fix the lights.
Particularly that southern end where the bulbs have blown. Already pay enough in rates. 29 points to 13. Old Boys University ahead, but the Wolves have put in a fighting performance. Ina to feed the scrum. That's solid by the Wolves. Ball's loose and it comes out to Aquila at first receiver. And it's been passed out to Leota. Leota in those identifiable Kermit the Frog boots. Sibelio charging forward. The Wolves not giving up. This is excellent work by them. Aquila goes for the high. Gary Owen. Callum Harkin calm under pressure. See why he was made the lines in 2018 and 2019, and he goes for that glassing dart again. Tries to get off, pass it off to Wilson, but can't get it out. Champion. Rush ball. That time there, Lammers with the loose pass. Morgan Ranui offloads it to Preston. Bampton bumps one out of the way. Preston again. Skips past in front of Holbrook into Nundaval. There's Tiaki Fabish, but the co-captain knocks the ball on. There's a penalty though. The Wolves are offside. The tiring leg starting to kick in. Here goes Harkin. Harkin darting around again. He's playing like a man possessed. No one can really touch him at the moment. The Wolves player down with cramp. And he's just about to get swallowed up by the forwards. The Billy Goats, metres away from the line. And it's a penalty. Penalty is the call. I'm not sure what the penalty is there for, John. Oh, here we go. Diving off their feet is the call, finally. The secondary single comes in.
28 minutes in the second.
28 minutes into the second half. 29 points to 13. The Wolves hanging in there. Wheeler kicks directly to our commentary position. And we have time off here as the player down in the in goal. Tuffy needing an attention. Jersey 18 for the Billy Goats is coming on. Shani Whakahau just about to enter the field of play. Another product of Timaru Boys.
9 and 13. He's coming. Stop letting kicking the ball away.
John Cross getting some viewers texts again, telling Avalon to keep hold of the ball. 16-1 about to enter the fray for Avalon. That's Leo Lago and Sonny Kolopu about to enter the field of play, which they do. And that appears to be Tuffy's evening done. He's put on a fine performance. Been pretty particularly impressed with his line-out throwing this evening, John. It's been key to the Avalon's Wolves line-out and drives. Excellent work from him this evening. Avalon throw, the ball's been knocked back, still in possession. Under pressure inside their 22. Avalon drive it forward, but the old boys Billy Goats defenders holding in tight. Enia passes back to Aquila. Aquila kicks straight down the field. Here's Champion. He decides to run it up. This is what the old boys University backs have been doing all second half, is charging up towards the defence of the Wolves. 4 away from the 22, 7 end. And they've been bundled into touch. Just under 10 to go in this first match of round 3. 29 points to 13. Old Boys University. Expect them to attack this line out, which they try to cause a disruption, but the Wolves have managed to get the ball in hand. Just outside the 22. Ball comes back as the big forwards for Avalon rumble forward. Just need to keep the ball in hand. Ball's still there, but there's a penalty. And it's against the Billy Goats again. It's been a bit too eager beavers at the breakdown and using their hands, John.
Well, I think we've had a text from a couple of people here, and they're actually saying Avalon got to run their big forwards at the over you guys because they don't want to tackle, and that's exactly what's happening. But hopefully we've got the last about 12 minutes to go here, and let's see what they can rumble up. But as I said earlier, a few of them are looking very tight. Daliena, captain, and a couple others, but no, they're hanging in there. And let's see, you got the new hooker out on the field, and let's see what happens. Hopefully we can bad throw, but let's see what happens.
Not the greatest throw, and Tame Plumtree latches onto that like a man possessed. And it's been knocked on again, and this time another uncharacteristic mistake from Tiaki Fabish. And so Avalon will have another scrum. Old Boys University last year won the Swindale Shield. It was tied between them and Marist St. Pat's, but it went back to who bet who. So Old Boys University won the Swindale Shield. And then in the new format of the Jubilee Cup last year, they played against Hutt Old Boys Marist, and they lost to a Brandon Lawson kick right at full time. And then they had to play Norths in the do or die playoff, and lost to Norths in what many would consider probably one of the worst weather conditions in Wellington history in July. Swirling wind and rain. Games of rugby were played on lakes. Here goes the Bulls, and it's a good tackle. That time there by Lokini, Old Boys University. Pushing Timu into touch. So some good solid defence there. I do remember that day, John. I was in Auckland watching the Auckland Club final with my friend at Eden Park, and it was wet, but I remember turning on my phone and looking at some of those live streams and seeing those pictures of that day in July, and some of those weather conditions that day, John, were just dreadful.
I remember the day very well, and it was whoever adapted to the wet weather rugby won the game. But here's this guy Harkin, man. I can understand why he's in the Wellington Lions side. He should be, maybe training with the Hurricanes. He probably does, but actually the guy I'm very impressed with, as you said, Tane Plumtree, man. He's a stepper body, and he's so fit, if you know what I mean. And that shows when he's playing Super Rugby. And, but here we go, we've got the Aquila. We've got Jordan Aquila kicking it. We've got his twin brother, Jason, chasing it. So it's good to see the Aquila. And Mum and Dad are Mum and Dad are on the video tonight. So it's good to see. They do a lot for rugby.
Oh, that was a heavy collision that time, and it's the man Harkin that John Cross was just mentioning about before. Just went to collect that ball, but it came a smashing of the bodies. I think he might have run straight into Tiafulapolo there. And Harkin's gone down on his haunches. Callum Harkin, of course, was originally a halfback. And he did actually play one game for the Hurricanes in pre-season when they played the Crusaders in Levin. He got injured that game and was out of rugby for a long time. But you really are seeing the promising play of Callum Harkin as he's starting to get back onto his feet. Just a bit winded there. But also playing on an artificial turf as he's slamming into a pretty hard surface. But any big tackles or anything that might result around the head, it's important to look after the players' welfare. Speaking of which, Callum Harkin is coming to the sideline. Sensible decision and a fine performance by Callum Harkin as the crowd give him a round of applause. Champion will move to fullback. Ropetti into the first receiver position. Minutes remaining in this opening match of round 3. Avalon with the ball off the back through Chris Lafale. The ball's being kicked down by Ina. Champion juggles the ball and keeps it under control. And he decides to go for a run like his fullback he just replaced would like to do most of this game. Cole on at halfback. Passes the ball out. And Old Boys University, Kenny being wrapped up very quickly. There's another Billy Goat on the ground, nursing cramp. Looking a bit sore. He's just taking his time. And the Billy Goats continue to play. Here goes Lokini. He's got numbers to burn. He's got that man Plumtree again, but he decides not to be greedy. And he gives it out to Isaac Wilson, who scores his hat-trick of tries this evening. Score now, 34 points to 13. And the Billy Goats are in total control. But a good darting run there. Avalon tired. Lokini seeing the gap, charged it through. He had Plumtree in support. And Plumtree decided to give it out to Isaac Wilson. 34 points to 13, John.
Plumtree could have scored that by himself, but he's not. He's sort of, you're going to have to try and make him have a good game. But as I said, Plumtree, mate, I think he's been the difference between the two sides. And Avalon had a super player. Oh, we have, but he keeps on playing a sufferer more. And actually, George Bauer played for Avalon as well. So we've got a good cover rate, but I think we've got to look ahead and try and get a couple of guys that can play good rugby. They've got to run the ball back at these guys, you know. This is not right, but I think there's about 3 minutes to go, and I think Avalon can actually hold their heads up high. They've actually done a lot better than what a lot of people would have thought, and I think even the bully goats would think Avalon got something to go here. He's about the last change to go.
Well, the injured Billy Goats player was James Holbrook, the replacement hooker, and it's another player going off, holding his arm at the bottom of his jersey in this match so far. Probably a result of playing on the turf. Play back underway. Plumtree receives the ball 5 outside the 22. And the ball's very quickly to swarm around him like dogs amongst the carcass. Old Boys University. Preston on the field at first receiver, back onto the field. And it's a penalty. Avalon offside again. Alex Ropetti has come to the sideline, hence why Preston's back on. It's 2 players from Old Boys University that have gone off the field this evening, Tom Henderson and James Holbrook, nursing their arms in their jersey, acting as a sling. Hopefully those injuries aren't too serious. 2 young, bright players in Wellington rugby. Luke Gilbert's back on the field as well because Holbrook's gone off. Gilbert throws, and it's well taken by Jack Riley. Billy Goat number 473. Product of Rangiora High School. It was Jack Riley, and he's also part of the OBU Academy, an academy that they link inside with Victoria University. John Cross might be starting up an Avalon Academy. He's banking it on the Easter Lotto draw. Avalon scrum. What can they do here? Can they get some points on the board? Put in a great performance when you consider these scorelines over the last decade against the Billy Goats. This has been a fighting performance. And Chris Lafale, he's played an extremely dominant game. As is this man here too, Jordan Aquila. A real general for the back line. Daly Ina, wrapped up quickly by Ardenvale. Yuri Lafale, another big hit in the game. Ina wrestling for that ball, managing to keep possession. Good contest at the ruck, but the ball's being knocked on, says referee Luke Pearce. As the shunting screams of boy racers drive past Fraser Park. I don't think you see EVs as boy races, John.
Good thing about Fraser Park at the moment, with the grandstand gone, actually the car park now, there is plenty of car park here at Fraser Park. They've still got the squash club rooms that are now used by some Maori outfit, but hey, it's good to see this car park is excellent. So if you want to come out to Fraser Park, come out, mate, and as Brad just said, oh, here it goes, look at the speed down that line. Is that a boys in blue chasing him?
Might be one of your sons, John. Tide's back on. Moments remaining in the second half. Good hard mahi by both teams today. Easter Thursday, great crowd here. considering a lot of people tend to go away over the long weekend. It's great to have crowds back at sport too as well, particularly after the last year we've had. Another reset scrum. Some new interesting scrum variations and domestic safety laws in New Zealand this year. So far this evening, we haven't really seen much of those in play. Did get to see a goal line dropout. First time for me this season. Get to see a 50-22 though.
First time I've actually seen the goal line drop, but I've been impressed with the Avalon scrum tonight. In both scrums, the feed in has normally gone to the team putting the ball in, and they're not been a lot of resets, which is unusual in rugby, especially club rugby, you know.
Well, the bounce of the ball goes astray, and Champion takes the ball to the 22, but he has knocked it on. So that's another try gone begging for the Billy Goats. The Wolves hanging on. There's been a few of those from the Billy Goats today where they've entered the 22 and coughed up an error. But the Wolves survive. Sevilio, 6 away from his team's 22. Ina, quick offload to Lago, but Billy Goats have turned it over. Cole darts forward, 5 away, rolls over and away like a tumbleweed. And Preston pass the ball out to his right. Avalon defence up to the task. Preston again. There's numbers to burn here, but that time Lammers decides to take it to the line. It's a quick wide pass, and the Billy Goats sail over, and it's Josh Morgan Ranui. So 39 points to 13 with the conversion to come, and probably close to full time now, John.
Actually, Brad, I think it should be full time. It's the play. I reckon about 45 minutes in the second half, and hey, I'm proud of the Avalon boys. They've actually shown a lot of ticker, and hopefully they can build from this.
Many probably thought it would have been a cricket score today, but Old Boys University, they've really put in a good performance. Avalon, it's just really this last 20 minutes where they've just faded. Champion with the conversion attempt. Right on the line, southern end of Fraser Park artificial. 5 out from the 22. He strikes the ball. It's got the distance, but it drifts away. And that is full time here at the Fraser Park artificial. Old Boys University, your victors this evening. 39 points to 13. 2-1 for the season. The Wolves yet to get their first victory, but compared to their first 2 performances this season, this was a hell of a lot better. But really, it's just the fitness that really is the key to the Wolves. But John, Avalon put up a fight, came close. But it's just the fitness end of the day.
I do believe it's the fitness. I've been talking to the coaches, been watching the game up here, and I believe they're not going to train next week. I think they're just going to have fitness. And I believe that's all they need. You look at the forwards, the backs, and that's what we had a couple of texts from a couple of people watching the game on live stream. Of course, sponsored by Mike Pinfold, the best plumber in Upper Hutt. Hey Mike, don't forget, Chris Knight's coming up. But no, it's good to see. I was impressed with the young halfback from Avalon. Phil Green went through a lot of work. Chris Lafali, he went through heaps of work. But as you said, Jordan Aquila, he played over 100 odd games for Avalon. But hopefully next week, Old Timers Day, don't forget, come out here and watch him play on the luscious turf. So hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Many thanks to John Cross. It's a pleasure as always commentating with John. institutional knowledge here at Fraser Park. But it's Old Boys University this evening that are your victors here in the round 1 match. Many thanks to Tamati Richards, getting the late call up to be the cameraman this evening. He's done a sterling job, as always. But this evening, it's the Billy Goats taking out the points. 39 points to 13. I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.